Jody and Kevin Farrell have dropped by to start this new year off right by sharing stories of the many services they provide through Almost Kin and to show you Kevin's one talent. So Kevin, let's see it. He can wiggle his ears. Look at that. Look at that. We may have to...
That's all I got.
Do it again.
That's it.
Okay, do it again.
That's
do it
it.
again. Okay. That just added so much to your credibility.
Ratings just went through the roof.
Took it right over the top. Well, we've been trying to get him to do a cartwheel ever since I've known you, so
this is safer.
This is much safer, so what a talent. Somebody held up a scorecard there.
My insurance company appreciates that fact.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. Well, besides being fun people, let's talk about how important it is, and not just this time of year, but all year, about companionship and working with seniors who may be isolated.
That is a huge thing, not just for, you know, the loneliness that they experience in their home, but it's also for their health. Statistics have shown that, you know, those that are isolated, you know, they suffer, well, I don't remember what the statistic was, but I know that it's a greater chance of mental illness.
Oh, depression alone. You know, we're made for connection. We're not made for isolation. So.
Right, exactly. And then, you know, and that depression keeps them from eating, which then, you know, their overall physical health, not just their mental health. And it, you know, and then they may not get out of bed to take their medication, or just that social isolation alone. It's just not good. And this time of the year, it's even worse.
Yeah, that downward spiral from, you know, maybe losing a mate, and then the next step is being alone, not having follow-up. So that's where you guys come in. I mean, among the many things that you do, that partnership that you have with your clients is pretty potent stuff.
The companionship is huge, and you know, we don't necessarily always think about that with our loved ones. We think, okay, so they're, you know, they have shelter, they have food, they have all the, you know, I visit them, you know, every other day, you know.
Or even,
And so when we see them, they're happy, and, you know, and everything is great, but then when we leave, we don't see what goes on behind the scenes. And, you know, and with us being in the homes, they share that with us, how they didn't get out of bed for 2 days. Or, you know, we've gone in before, and they're in the same clothing that they were in our visit 3 days before that. They just didn't feel like getting up. And then you ask them, you know, so what did we eat? You know, what have you, you know, eaten since I've been here? And a lot of times they can't tell you, so it makes you wonder, did they eat? You know, so dehydration is huge, because if someone's not there to push the fluids, you know, they don't drink. So it's there's a whole different sad side to what we do, along with, you know, the gratifying portion of it. So, you know, getting in there and making sure that your loved one, you know, has the adequate type of companionship, you know, not just from you dropping in every few days, you know, which, you know, I understand that, you know, with everyone's schedules, but there needs to be some things that are supplemented sometimes.
Well, I think, and with your experience, sometimes that third-party eye, rather than somebody who's vested in a daughter, a family member, that other person,
a little more objective point of view.
And they can bring a different opinion and really assess the situation and the needs.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, if people want to have you maybe come and meet their loved one, or
wiggle his ears, have him come wiggle his ears.
Kevin can wiggle his ears. We'll save Jody's talent for another time.
We're going to figure that out. We're going to figure one out before I come back.
How do they get in touch with you crazy people?
They can call us at 812-708-0752 or visit us at www.almostkin.com.
Well, you know, you can tell that these are the kind of people that you want in your home to help you through those tough patches throughout the year. So give Jody and Kevin a call, and maybe he'll teach how to wiggle your ears. Let's check in with Ron Rhodes. I bet he can wiggle his ears.
Ron, can you wiggle your ears?
This portion of Lifestyles is brought to you by Almost Kin In-Home Care.